Hi, you're listening to The Humans We Are with Carola, episode number 13. Hello, my lovely humans. How are you? What's going on? If you're new here, welcome. I am grateful for your time and your attention, and I promise to always do my best to make the most out of it. I had a client last year, and she was employed with a medium-sized company. Well, she still works for them. I don't want to give away too many details to respect her privacy, but we were coaching on her desire to make more money. She told me, I really believe I should be paid more. I've been with this company for many years and I've shown that I always over-deliver and I should be paid more. But her boss, always shuts me down when I attempt to bring up the subject. And he always says that the economy isn't good and that things are difficult for the company. But I know how much I'm making him and I know how much the clients pay for the work I do. So I know there is more than enough coming in to be able to cover what I'm asking him. So she told me a little bit about her boss, who was one of the owners of the company, and how he wouldn't want to raise her salary for like years. And it made her really frustrated because, mind you, she was filling in for him while he was on vacations, which happened multiple times in the year. She did her job and also covered what the clients thought he was doing. And he used to micromanage her from like the gym or whatever he happened to be. So on top of actually doing the work, she spent a ton of time reporting back to him and answering his texts at all times, updating him on where things were, calming him down because he was one of those people who got really, really nervous. And like she is his right hand, and he obviously trusted her professionally to do an amazing job. But he was the kind of boss who, the kind of boss that freaks out if she didn't text him right back when he asked a question, like at 8 p.m. Those people who, like, he really believed that in order for their team to make things happen and do their job, like, he needed to be constantly stressing them out. Like, he thinks it's necessary to put pressure on people so that they deliver and perform. Like, they think it's literally necessary and beneficial. So my client, she is a super hard worker, very committed to the company, always made herself available when something was needed outside of normal office hours. And when she thought of making more income, she told me, I don't think he will give it to me. He will say no, and he will find reasons that it's not possible. I could tell this made her really frustrated, and she felt super disempowered and a little resentful. And this is the thing, right? When we believe that something that affects us, that something that we want is in someone else's hands and not in our own, it feels bad. So what we did is I asked her what she wanted, and she came up with a number, and she felt really good about the number. Like, it made sense to her. She believed that she created enough value to more than justify that number. She made a list of all the reasons why it made sense, all the things she did for her boss and the company, all the things that went above and beyond what she was hired for. And the more she did this exercise, the more confident she felt in that it was not only okay to ask, but she deserved that raise. So she asked him for a meeting and asked for what she wanted. But he wasn't budging. Like, it wasn't very different from the other times she had attempted to bring it up. But what was different is that this time she felt different because of all the conversations that we had been having about it. She felt more confident, like she could really notice a shift in how she was coming at this issue. She thought maybe he wasn't seeing all that he needed to see in order for her race to make sense to him. And she realized that it was up to her to help him see. She also realized that it was possible that he would never see it that way, or that even if he did, his answer would still be no. But this time, when she thought of that, instead of feeling frustrated and resentful, she only felt a little disappointed, but then she said, maybe my time here is over, and maybe I should look somewhere else. So you see how when she thought that getting what she wanted was in her boss's hands, her reality felt really restricted, and she felt frustrated and disempowered. She wasn't even asking for what she wanted, because when she did at the beginning and he said no, because she thought he controlled what she made, she didn't push back. This put her on a path to overwork and resentment. But when she was, number one, honest to herself about what she really wanted, number two, when she made an inventory of all the ways in which she was creating way more value for the company than she was being compensated for, and number three, and perhaps the most important piece of this, when she took the responsibility of making sure she got what she wanted, whether in that company or somewhere else, her whole perspective shifted. So when she asked her boss and he said no this time, instead of feeling bad about herself or thinking that she wasn't being valued, or instead of making him a villain and herself a victim, she was like, no, he's not understanding why he needs to give me what I want if he wants me to stay. And I am responsible for making it clear to him. And then, depending on his response to that, I can make a decision. I'm sharing this story because it highlights so well how when you believe that what you want is not in your hands, you tend to give up. You tend to make the other person or the circumstances a villain, and you tend to make yourself a victim. And if that didn't feel bad enough, you still don't have what you want. But when you take responsibility for creating what you want, instead of blaming someone else and giving up on your desires, you just get curious. Maybe your raise wasn't going to come through that particular channel or path or way, like through that employer. But if you want it bad enough, why would you stop trying to create it? Why would you stop at that ask? Why wouldn't you try to keep coming up with ideas for how to get what you want? So this week, my friends, I want to invite you to think about something that you want, that you've been telling yourself you can't have. It could be anything, a material thing like a raise, something new that you want to buy, a change in your life, a new habit that you want to start, or an old habit that you want to stop, or an experience, maybe a trip or a concert or a massage or time off. It could be anything. And notice with curiosity, what are the reasons that you think you can't have it? Remember that the human that you are has picked up thoughts since early childhood, that because they are so automated by now, they feel super true, and therefore we don't question them. So now with this new perspective, ask yourself, how might this be the case for you? How might this, and by this I mean an unconscious automated thought or belief, be blocking you from actually going after and pursuing and making what you want happen? See what ideas your human brain can come up with to get what you want. One example of my own was about 5 years ago. We have family in France, and one of our elderly family members there, he was going to celebrate his wedding, like after years of being with his wife, and he invited us, the family here in Chile. And it was less than 2 months in advance. So for the most part, everyone said, oh, thank you, like we can't make it, but like we wish you all the best. Like all the things that you say in those situations, thinking that planning a trip on such short notice was going to be expensive and complicated. But I really wanted to go. So I told myself the truth about that. I said, like, I really, really want to go. And then I actually went online and took a look, and I just did a little research. What would it be like if I wanted to go? And it turns out it was way less expensive than I thought it would be. So I took the responsibility to make what I wanted to happen. And it was wonderful. And that experience showed me how so many times I myself had cut myself off from what I wanted because I just believed those like first unconscious automated thoughts that say that I can't have what I want. So notice how you might be allowing either your own automated beliefs or other people's thoughts and actions limit your possibilities. Nobody has time for that. You certainly don't. Now, if you would like to have my help to do what my client did, I have openings for one-on-one coaching at this time. So reach out to carolafuertes@gmail.com or go to my bio on IG where I am at Fuertes Carola. And there you will find a link to schedule a conversation to explore one-on-one coaching. I would love to talk and answer all your questions, and we will figure out together in that conversation if this is what you need and if I can work with you. If this is something you've been considering, reach out now. Don't leave it for later because your time and your life is now. And all the time you spend without having the life you want is time that you don't get back. So why wait? Please help me reach more people. There are 2 main ways in which you can do it, and both cost you 0 money. Just a few minutes of your time. So one is share this episode with one person that you love and that you think will benefit from it or enjoy it. And the second is go to Apple or Spotify, wherever you're listening, and leave a rating and an honest review. I truly appreciate those of you who have already done it. Okay, that is all for now. I will be back next week. And in the meantime, notice what your human wants and what is the reason or what are the reasons she has believed so far that she can't have it. And question those reasons. You are the best person to help her poke holes on those automated beliefs. That's all for now, my lovely humans. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.